A few years ago, I reviewed Dario Argento's Suspiria, the first film in a trilogy about these witches and stuff. Now, let's talk about the follow up to it, Inferno. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1980s supernatural horror flick Inferno, originally released by Fox, directed by Dario Argento, who also wrote the story, starring Irene Miracle, Lee McCloskey, Eleonora Georgi, Daria Nicolodi, and Aleda Valli. Now, the film's plot follows a young man's investigation into the disappearance of his sister, who had been living in a New York City apartment building that also served as a home for a powerful centuries-old witch. Now, this, of course, is a thematic sequel to Suspiria. If you have not seen my review of that film, I advise you to click on that card before you go into this. Okay, before I get started on the review. It's the second installment of Argento's Three Mothers trilogy, though it is the first in the trilogy to explore the idea of the three mothers. And this, along with its third entry, The Mother of Tears, which wouldn't get released for another 27 years in 2007, they were partially derived from Thomas de Quincey's 1845 work Suspiria de Profundis, a collection of prose poetry in which he proposes the concept of three ladies of sorrow, concurrent with the three fates and graces in Greek mythology. Now, we start out with a poet named Rose Elliott living alone in New York City's Upper West Side. She purchases a book from an antiques dealer titled The Three Mothers. The book, written by an alchemist named Varelli, tells of three evil sisters who rule the world with sorrow, tears, and darkness, and dwell inside separate homes that had been built for them by the alchemist. The Mother of Sighs, Suspiriorum, lives in Freiburg. Lacrimarum, excuse me, I mispronounced that. If I still mispronounce that, I apologize. The Mother of Tears lives in Rome, and Tenebrarum, the Mother of Darkness, lives in New York. Now, Rose suspects that she's living in Tenebrarum's building and writes to her brother Mark, a music student in Rome, urging him to visit her. Using clues provided in the book, she searches the cellar of her building and discovers a hole in the floor which leads to a water-filled ballroom. She accidentally drops her keys and enters the water to find them. After she reclaims them, a putrid corpse rises from the depths, frightening her. And she manages to swim out and flee. In Rome, Mark attempts to read Rose's letter during class. He's distracted by the intense gaze of a beautiful student who leaves silently. Mark follows, leaving the letter behind. His friend Sarah picks up the letter and later reads it. She's horrified by the letter's contents. She takes a taxi to a library and finds a copy of The Three Mothers. Trying to find her way out, Sarah becomes lost in the library basement and finds a room filled with boiling cauldrons. And she is attacked there by a monstrous figure who recognizes the book. She throws the book onto the ground and escapes. Well, returning to her home, she phones Mark, telling him to come and ask a neighbor, Carlo, to keep her company. The lights go out, and both Sarah and Carlo are both stabbed to death by a gloved killer. Mark discovers the bodies in two torn fragments from the letter. And once after the police arrive, Mark leaves Sarah's apartment and sees a taxi slowly driving by and sees the music student in the back seat, staring at him intently. And well, I'm really not going to give the rest of the story away, but I will tell you, it really gets intense with its deaths and what have you. Like, well, Rose gets killed by clawed assailant and is guillotined with the glass of a broken window. Many more encounters occur, especially when one well gets swarmed with rabid cats and then gets stabbed to death. Another one encounters hundreds of rats gnawing on him once he drowns cats and what have you, but soon he gets killed. But I gotta tell you, I will say that this really proved to be just about as good as Suspiria in some ways, although it wasn't quite as successful as its predecessor. Now, like I said, I'm not going to give the whole story away. If you want to know what happens, you're going to have to see the movie. Now, this was completely released by Fox, not just in the US, where they helmed the the American release for its predecessor. It also released the film in Italy. Unlike it, it had a very limited theatrical release, thus it was not able to match the success of its predecessor, Suspiria. While initial critical response was mostly negative, its reputation has improved considerably over the years. And one person has called it perhaps the most underrated horror movie of the 1980s. Yeah, I do agree. It is pretty underrated in my view, although it's my second time of seeing this film. But I will say that Inferno's pretty good, and what have you. So, anyway, but like I said, just watch the movie and you'll see what happens then. So I'm not giving you the whole story or anything. No ending spoilers or anything. Sorry. Now for our cast, we have Lee McCluskey, who is introduced to us, I believe, yes, as Mark. Irene Miracle plays Rose, and Eleonora Georgi plays Sarah. Daria Nicolodi plays the character of Elise Adler, the Elise the Longval Adler, that is. Yeah. And there's still others, not too many I'd be familiar with, since most of these are Italian actors and what have you. But nevertheless, other things I do like about Inferno is the cinematography of the film that my Roman Albani and Keith Emerson who composed the film's score, which was really good. Claudio Argento did a great job in producing the film. Of course, he's Dario Argento's brother. Of course, he's a young brother. Anyway, yeah. Let's see here. But anyway, it still did okay, but still it didn't quite do as well as Suspiria. It went on to make 3 million in the US. And well, with a pretty good story, some shocks and thrills and what have you, just like what you could expect from any other film of Dario Argento's, would I recommend Inferno? I'd say sure, go ahead, but only if you are a big time fan of Argento's work, or if you're a hardcore completionist and want to try and finish the Three Mothers trilogy. Now, I have yet to see The Mother of Tears. I am planning to watch that, but it will be a while before I can give you a review of it. So stay tuned, and I may review it later on down the road. But anyway, I do think Inferno is underrated, but I say this film should be worth looking into. If you've seen Suspiria, then continue on with Inferno, okay? So, what are your thoughts on Inferno? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you another mini reviews vid, where I'll be reviewing Werewolf by Night, a recent Marvel Studios special on Disney Plus, and Spirit Halloween the movie. So thank you for watching, and if you like this, consider checking out these other films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. The upper right-hand corner is my review of a really, well, good horror film from 1980, and still one of my favorites. That's the original Friday the 13th. Or if you would like more Dario Argento, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of a film he didn't direct but produced, though, and that would be Demons from 1985. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.